Yep. Okay, so we're going to get started with inequalities, but these are no longer one step. These are two step. One steps were easy, right?
No.
All we had to do was multiply, divide, or add or subtract to get them by themselves. Okay, so if I have, well, let's start with two-step inequalities. Remember, what do we treat an inequality sign like? An equal sign, right? So if it was an equal sign, you're simply solving an equation, okay? So you're kind of doing the same thing, but there's a couple of rules you guys have to keep in mind. Okay, what is one of the rules? One of the major ones. That inequality sign has a chance of changing directions when what happens? Macy? Yeah, divide or multiply by a negative. Okay, does it matter if you're going into a negative? No. Okay, so think back to when we did two-step equations. What did we do to make two-step equations a little bit easier? We put stuff in a what? In a box. Okay, we put stuff in a box, and then we got rid of whatever was outside of the box, right? Okay, so if we had a two-step equation, or a two-step inequality, let's say I had something like this. 8a minus 3 is less than 13, okay? This is very, very similar to what we've done. There's just an added step, right? Okay, how do we determine what goes in that box? Dylan?
What you do is box the 8 times A,
Uh-huh.
and then you would look at the minus 3.
Yeah, we'd get rid of that negative 3, right? Now, when we put that in the box, okay, would it be okay? Why would it not make sense for me to put a box just around this? That's just the variable, right? Is that going to help us at all? No. Okay, so what if there was a negative sign in front of this? Would we include that in the box? Yes. Okay. So whatever goes in the box, and the reason we do that is because it's kind of like isolating something that we're going to deal with later. Okay, we put it in a box. It's like putting it on a shelf. We're going to deal with everything else first. And in this case, what do we have to deal with first? That what? That negative 3. So how do we deal with a negative 3? We're going to add 3. And if we add 3 to this side, we must also add 3 over here. Agreed? What happens to these? Cancel. Okay. And then I bring this down. So 8a. Do I need to flip my inequality here? No. Okay. What's 13 plus 3? 16. Okay. Now, all we've done is change this into a one-step. Now, we're pretty good at one-step equations, right? Okay, all we have to do in this case, what's happening to a? It's being what? Multiplied by 8. So how do we undo multiplying by 8? We're going to divide each side by 8. So a would be less than, what's 16 divided by 8? 2. Okay. How many of you guys have trouble when we graph these? Okay, here's the thing. On your worksheet, I didn't put the variable on the left every time like I have so far. Okay? And the reason I didn't do that is because I want you to think about it for a second. Think about what determines which way you go. Okay, all you have to do, okay, first of all, is this going to be an open or a closed circle? Open. Open, okay? So let's say we got 0, 1, 2, 3, negative 1. I really don't need to go any further. I'm going to put my open circle here at 2. I think everybody understands that, right? Now, go back to your inequality. What is this telling me? That a has to be what? Less than 2. Okay? Which direction from this 2 would represent less than 2? Left. That's all I got to do for that. Does that make sense? Okay? All right. Can I erase this? Does everybody have that written down? Okay. Tell me when you're done. Good? Okay. So you guys try this one. Let's see if you can get it right. Try this one completely on your own. 31 is less than or equal to 1 plus 10 times b. Try that one. Let's see if you get it right. All right, what's going to be in the box here? This 10b. Good. All right, what kind of 1 is this that's outside that box? It's a positive. How do I get rid of a positive 1? I subtract 1, and I subtract 1. So I'm left with 30 is less than or equal to 10b, right? Divide each side by what here? By 10. Okay, so 3 is less than or equal to b. Everybody got that right, correct? Now when I graph this, okay, I'm going to go to b, I'm going to go to 3, and what kind of circle am I going to put here? Closed circle. Now, this time, I have to think about this, don't I? Because my variable is not listed first. So what does this tell me? That b has to be what? Greater than or equal to 3. Well, if I went this way, which is the way the inequality is pointing, is that greater than or equal to 3? No. So which way should I go? That way. Okay. All right. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. All right. The other types you're going to see. Okay. What if I had this? 3 is less than x plus 9 divided by 8. Okay. On this one, what's going to be in my box here? This one sometimes gives you guys trouble. What's going to be in my box? X plus 9. This part is going to be in the box. And the reason being is because if we knew what x was, we would have to simplify that before we could divide by 9. So we've got to get rid of that dividing by 9 because we don't know what x is. All right? So how am I going to, what does this mean? This means I don't want you to read this as x plus 9 divided by 8 because you put that in a box. I want you to read this as box divided by 8. Okay? So how am I going to undo box divided by 8? Multiply everything by 8. Okay? So put parentheses around this. Put an 8 here and put an 8 there. What happens to these 8s? They cancel. X plus 9. And what's 8 times 3? 24. Well, now it's easy, right? This is a simple two-step equation. I need to get x by itself. What's keeping x from being by itself? Plus 9. So I subtract 9. Subtract 9. What do I have? 15 is less than x. When I graph this at 15, which way is my arrow going to go? Which one will represent x is greater than? That way. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? The last type you're going to see, something like this. Let's say I have negative 3 is greater than or equal to x plus 2 divided by negative 5. Okay? Yes? If I graphed this, okay, which side, x has to be greater than 15, right? So which side would this go? Which one would be greater than 15? That way. Yeah. Okay, so right here, what's going to be in the box up here? X plus 2 is in the box. Okay, what am I dividing by here? A negative 5. So therefore, what am I going to multiply both sides by? Negative 5. But have I caused a little bit of a problem here? What happens if I divide or multiply by a negative? My inequality sign flips, right? So this is negative, negative 3 times negative 5 would give me what? Positive 15, and this inequality sign now becomes what? Less than or equal to. Those cancel. What's left over here? X plus 2, right? Subtract 2 from each side. 13 is less than or equal to x. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes? All right. What if you have, did you guys get that? I'll leave it up there for a second. Okay, what if I have something like this? 4 is less than n divided by 10 plus 6. What's going to be in the box on this one? What's going to be in the box? N divided by 10. But in this one, I don't have to deal with that, do I? What do I need to deal with first? This, Luke, please wake up. Put your head up. Okay, I need to get rid of this 6. How do I get rid of this plus 6? Minus 6. Minus 6. So now I have negative 2 is less than n divided by 10. What am I going to multiply each side by? By 10. Okay, so 10 here, 10 here. Those cancel. And what's 10? Oh, I have a negative. Should I flip the inequality sign? No, why not?
Because you're not dividing by, multiplying.
I'm not dividing or multiplying by. What am I multiplying by?
Positive.
The positive, right? So this is negative 20 is less than n. Okay? Any questions? Do you understand this? Yes?
Are we graphing them on the homework?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I put your graphs on there though, so you're good. All right? Okay.